Finally, Mikal Bridges just did exactly what every single Knick fan wanted Tom Thibodeau to do. What every single Knick fan wishes they could tell Tom Thibodeau. Play the starters less. And his reasoning, it's quite simple. We have the talent on this roster to be able to rest the starters. That's exactly what he's calling for. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. But before we get started, guys, about 52% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications on as well, too. So that way, anytime we anytime we go live, you don't miss a second of that content. And now, let's get started. Bridges calls out Tom Thibodeau for the heavy starter minutes. I thought I was dreaming. I thought this day would never come. I think I speak for the minutes police, which, by the way, I'm part of that. I am a proud member of the minutes police. And if you are too, shout out to you, because today is for all of us. Since the beginning of the season, I have said Tom Thibodeau needs to watch the starter minutes. He needs to make sure that the starters are not being burnt out or being burnt into the ground, not playing them heavy minutes, making sure that he's juggling the minutes a little bit better, managing the minutes a little bit better. Now, some of you, you've agreed with me, but then there's another half of you that says I'm being too tough. I'm being too hard. I might be calling out Tom Thibodeau a little bit too much. But now, nobody is going to say anything. Now, why do I say that? It's not a bench player saying this now. We have a starter, and not just any starter, the starter that we traded multiple first-round picks for. You could call him a star with this Knicks team. Mikal Bridges recently called out Tom Thibodeau and told him to play the starters less, and he asked him to play the bench more. Shout out to Steph Bondy with the New York Post for giving us the following information. Let's break down exactly what Mikal Bridges had to say to Tom Thibodeau. And guys, if you're hearing any noise in the background, I apologize. I normally don't go live at this time. There's a reason for that. My son is getting tutored right now behind me in math. So this live will not be long, but I promise you it will be informative. But let's continue here. Like I said before, shout out to Steph Bondy with the New York Post for giving us the following information. According to Steph Bondy here, he states, Mikal Bridges asked Tom Thibodeau to back off a bit on the starter minutes because the bench deserves more. Now, I want to be clear here. He didn't say to Tom Thibodeau, listen, you're playing the starters too many minutes. We're tired. Play the bench. That's not what was stated. He did call out Tom Thibodeau. He did ask them to, he did call out Tom Thibodeau. He did ask for the starters to play less minutes. But the reason he did that was because he wants the bench to get more minutes. And I absolutely respect that. Let's continue here. He states exactly, and again, this is from Mikal Bridges, sometimes it's not fun on the body. You'll want that as a coach. But also, you talk to him a little bit, knowing that we've got guys good enough on the team where our bench guys can come in and we don't need to play 48 minutes, 47 minutes. That's exactly what I think we all have stated here. We understand you have the starters on this team that can go out there and play all these minutes, but you shouldn't have to play them this many minutes when you have a bench that is capable, when you have a bench like the bench the Knicks have right now. We are a deep team if we use the bench, but because we never do, we get called out a lot because of our depth. And I think this is what Mikal Bridges is asking for here. We wouldn't get called out about this if Thibodeau just utilized the bench more. Let's continue here. Bridges continues by stating, we've got a lot of good guys on this team that can take away minutes, which helps the defense, helps the offense, helps tired bodies being out there and giving up all these points. It just helps keeping fresh bodies out there. Bridges said that Tom Thibodeau was receptive to the comments, but Sometimes I think he just gets in his ways. I think he's not arguing about it. Sometimes I think he just gets in his ways and he gets locked in. He just wants to keep the guys out there. Sometimes you've got to tell him, like Landry Shamet, for example, or somebody, keep him out there. They're playing well. This is exactly what I'm saying to a lot of people as well, too. I think a lot of people are actually saying the exact same thing. They want the exact same thing. They absolutely want Tom Thibodeau playing the starters, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes less, a little bit less, because if you do that, and again, this is Mikal Bridges, a starter. This isn't me. This isn't a bench player. This isn't an insider. No. This is your starter. This is Mikal Bridges pleading with Tom Thibodeau to play the starters less. And let's review again why. Let's go back again and review again why, so everybody doesn't call me out and tell me that I'm doing something wrong. This is not coming from the minutes police. This is coming from Mikal Bridges. If you play the guys less, it helps defense. Excuse me, what? Oh, it helps defense. Okay. It helps the offense. Helps the offense? Who would have thought of that? It helps tired bodies being out there and giving up all of these points. All of you, well, maybe not all of you, most of you told me that if the starters want to play, if they're not complaining, then recap. Why are you complaining? Why am I complaining? Because I see the bench not being utilized. I see the second unit not being utilized. And I'm sorry, what does Mikal Bridges see? Oh, yeah, the same thing. The fourth quarter, tired legs that I always speak about. What is Mikal Bridges saying here? Tom Thibodeau, play us less. You can clearly see the guys are tired out there. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to say it anymore. The minutes police, everybody who called out Tom Thibodeau, you are vindicated. I am validated right now because Mikal Bridges, a starter, is calling out the head coach, telling the head coach what I have said on this channel for months now. Play the starters less, play the bench more, and good things will happen. And you heard what Mikal Bridges said. Tom Thibodeau was receptive. But here's the thing. Receptive doesn't mean he'll change, right? Let's go back to exactly what Mikal Bridges said. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat right now, everybody who's joining the stream right now. I did not think I would be doing a live right now at this moment in time. Like I said, my son gets tutor at this point in time. He's getting math tutoring as we speak behind me. So I normally don't do this. It will not be a long live. But the reason I'm doing this is because this story was so important. I could not ignore it. And, you know, I have to say, Mikal Bridges saying what I've been saying for months now? Yeah, you're dang right. I'm going to come on here as fast as possible to make sure everybody hears it. But going back to what Mikal Bridges said, he states, Tom Thibodeau was receptive, but sometimes I think he just gets in his ways. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. What do we always say? Thibodeau, ride the hot hand, ride the hot hand. There was a game, maybe, I don't know, 5-7 games ago, campaign on a heater, dropping 3 after 3 after 3. After halftime, he doesn't come back into the game in the fourth quarter, cool down. It doesn't matter anymore. He does not ride the hot hand. That's why Mikal Bridges is saying this. Same thing for Shamet. If Shamet is knocking down 3 after 3 after 3, and he's not been doing that, and that's probably going to help his confidence. As a coach, shouldn't you keep him out there? Maybe that's going to help the team, help everybody overall. That's not happening. And that's why Mikal Bridges is saying what he's saying. Now, many of you are probably thinking, isn't Mikal Iron Man? Doesn't he play every game? He does. And even he acknowledged it takes a toll on the body. I don't know who thought it didn't. You think it's magic that he plays the way that he plays, the way that he doesn't, the way that he doesn't fight through screens, or the way that he doesn't be as aggressive or as physical during games? I don't think that's an accident. I think some of that is by design to protect his body, because even he understands it's going to take a toll. He spoke on this with Steph Bondi as well, too. Let's break down exactly what he said there. Bridges in the poster play for Bridges is the poster player for durability, with the NBA's longest consecutive game streak and this season's leader in total minutes. But the 28-year-old said the workload isn't easy. I think it's something you never really get used to. Your body is going to feel how it is every year. But I've been part of it for a while, knowing how to take care of my body through those situations and just trying to do as much as I can. What else does anybody else need to hear here for everybody to finally say, recap, you're right, Thibodeau needs to play the starters less? Josh Hart's not going to say it. Jalen Brunson is certainly not going to say it. A lot of players wouldn't say it. Mikal Bridges, he did. He has my overwhelming, full respect. Somebody needed to do this. Somebody needed to call out Tom Thibodeau for what Tom Thibodeau needed to be called out about. And what was that? What was it? The minutes. The minutes. That's exactly what needed to be done. You could talk about the picks all you want to. Look at this roster. Who was going to do this? Who was going to step up and call out this coach? Because I didn't think anybody was going to do it. Mikal, standing ovation. Bravo. Congratulations. You did what basically, I won't say basically, you did what nearly every Knick fan watching the games wish they could say to Thibodeau's face. And the fact that you not only said that, but you stood up for the bench and you told us that Thibodeau was receptive to it. What else do you want? What else do you want from a player, a star player on this team, to call out another player call out a head coach like that? For anybody who wants to fire Tom Thibodeau, and I'm not saying Tom Thibodeau will be fired, but for anybody who wants him fired, what's the first step to firing a head coach? A star player calling out that head coach. So either way, whether you want change, whether you want Thibs fired, whether you want to see the starters play less or the bench play more, you got your wish today. You got your wish today because of Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is the one that helped us get the message across. The message was very simple. Tom Thibodeau, stop playing your starters so many minutes and use your talented bench. And if you do that, the Knicks will be a better team. That is the message. I hope everybody understands it, because Mikal just did it. Just called out Tom Thibodeau for the minutes police. For everybody that was upset about how the starters were being played, the minutes, the mismanagement of how the minutes were being, put out there, given to all of these players. Now, after Mikal did it, maybe other players will speak up, join, and say the exact same thing. It only takes one. It only takes one. And the one is the player you traded all of those picks for. That's the one that is speaking out. I doubt they're going to want to silence him. We have a little bit more in this story to talk about. But before I get there, if I don't go to the chat, you guys are going to go crazy because I see you guys going crazy already. So please, let me first go to the chat. I want to go to the super chats first because I know we got a great super chat in here. So let me go ahead and do that right quick. 1 second here. Super chat. Oh my goodness. Is this real? Harris. My goodness. $99 super chat? Harris. Thank you, my brother. I can't believe this. I do this for the community. I do this for the fans. I do it for me because I love the Knicks, but man, I don't know what this. I'm humbled, man. Thank you. His comment is, love your channel. Thank you for replying yesterday. You're the man. If I'm the man, you're the man too. Not only for the contribution, but also for tuning in and being part of this community. I'm growing it. I'm trying to increase the subscriber count each and every day. And getting people like you as part of the community, as part of the channel, I couldn't be more blessed. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contributions and your support. With that in mind, let's go ahead and get to the rest of the chat. But my goodness, man, Harris, thank you so much, man. I'm taken back, man. I really am. You really took me back there, man. Thank you. That's amazing, man. Thank you so much. Waiting for the chat to load here. Give me a second. Okay. My guy Yuri, what's going on? He says, because I will ban you with no questions asked. Do not play with my moderator, Yuri. Yuri is not playing games, I promise you. Let's keep it going here. Pokemon Center says, W. Harris. Definitely. Harris is the man. Gideon says, Bridges said everything we are saying now. Didn't he? Didn't he say it, Gideon? This is exactly what we wanted, and we finally got it. My guy, a member, Carl Knight says, Thibs just gotta be Thibs. Corey says, Troy, salute. How confident are you feeling about Jalen Brunson when he comes back for the playoffs? I'm feeling confident because after the injury update that we heard today, the fact that he's going to come back during the regular season, even if he comes back with 5 or 10 games remaining, that gives him enough time to get back in shape for the postseason. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. Timothy says, one of the players that had to say something. Good job, Bridges. And for anybody who's joining the stream right now, maybe you're not understanding exactly what's going on. Let me break it down again for you. Tom Thibodeau was called out by Mikal Bridges, and he was called out by Mikal Bridges for the amount of minutes he's playing the starters. He stated to Tom Thibodeau, Mikal Bridges asked Tom Thibodeau to back off a bit on the starter minutes because the bench deserves more. According to Bridges, sometimes it's not fun on the body. You'll want that as a coach, but also he talked to him a little bit about knowing what we've got and how good this team is. Where our bench guys are and where they can come in and how we don't need to play our guys or starters 48 minutes, 47 minutes. He then goes on to say, we've got a lot of good guys on this team that can take away minutes, which helps the defense, helps the offense, helps tired bodies. Being out there and giving up all of these points, it helps just keeping fresh bodies out there. That's exactly what everybody watching this channel has basically stated. I'm sure a lot of you guys have said the exact same thing. My guy Yuri says, I'm so happy Mikal called out Thibs. Again, no more bashing Bridges. Am I clear? Absolutely right. My guy Harris again says, you are the absolute best. You are awesome, my friend. I thank you. Michael Drake says, Thibs, stop playing the starters. They're playing too many minutes. Listen, I didn't say it. The minutes police didn't say it. We have Mikal Bridges saying it. And when you have Mikal saying it, I mean, what else do we have to say at this point? Mikal calling out Thibs? Music to my ears? Thank you. Thank you. The basketball gods have spoken. We finally get our wish. Corey says, Troy, love you, bro. Hey, love you more, man. Thank you so much for the comments, the support, and all the love you guys show me. I never forget it, man. Never forget a face, never forget a commenter, and never forget the people that support me. You guys are amazing. Michael Drake says, Troy Recap, you are the man, bro. You deserve the flowers. Hey, my guys, man. You guys with the love and support. Stop it, man. You guys are going to make me blush. I appreciate you. Eugene says, finally, somebody called him out. Right? Finally. I've been doing it on this channel. I feel like, I don't know, for months now. I feel like I finally have a supporter in my corner. And look who it is. The guy that I advocated for, that I wanted on this team, Mikal Bridges. And wouldn't you know it, imagine if it's Mikal Bridges that brings about the most change. Sometimes you need to call it out. And Bridges, he called it out. He might be Iron Man, but if you missed it, guys, Iron Man needs some better treatment because he even states at 28 years old, the workload is not easy, ladies and gentlemen. You have Mikal Bridges openly stating here that it's not easy doing what he's doing. It's not easy playing all the games that he's playing. He needs some time on the bench. He needs some rest. Now, we don't know exactly when this conversation went down. Could it have been recently? Maybe. Not sure yet, but hopefully we see changes moving forward. I think I've said it a number of times. Maybe you guys have said it too. We need to develop the bench unit so much more than we have, because come the postseason, you need a good starting unit, but you also need a good bench unit. If you don't have a good bench unit, you're setting yourself up for failure. You don't want to be that team in the postseason. So hopefully the Knicks get the message that's very clear here from Bridges, and take note of it and start making those changes. The bench should play more. The starters should play less. It is ridiculous that we have all of this talent and we limit ourselves to an 8-man rotation. How crazy is that? Imagine that. Look at the bench. Look at the talent. Look at Westchester. And we just say, forget about that. We'll just play 8 players. Why? Why when you don't need to do that? Doesn't make any sense. Before we go to the last part of this report today, I'm going to go to some more comments and then we're going to get that part. Let's see here. Pokemon Center says, I wonder how the other team members feel about him calling out Thibs. That's a very, very good question. You know, I got to say something. Isn't he friends with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart? You're telling me he wouldn't talk to them before he talked to Thibs? I don't think they had a problem with it. I'm pretty sure they said, if you got a problem, say it. Thibodeau is receptive to it. I'm sure that's the conversation. I don't think they asked for all the details, but I'm sure that's how it went down. My guy, Double A, loyalty goes one way with Thibs. When have you heard him take the blame? Hey, listen, man, Double A's not wrong. And with that in mind, I think it's perfect to go to the next thing that we have to talk about today, because I'm not saying it goes back to Tom Thibodeau and, him taking blame. But another thing that was mentioned here by Steph Bondi is that Bridges and the value that the Knicks gave up in order to get him. So according to Bondi here, Bridges, who was acquired by the Knicks in the summer for 5 first-round draft picks, has endured a roller coaster season with dips in his production from last season with the Knicks. But here's where things get a little bit interesting. He says, I think there's a lot more I can still show. I think that goes in within a lot. Things that are systematic, our schemes, offensively and stuff. Just trying to find the right situations and trying to make the right read every time I get a chance. But it's clear here. Bridges at this point in time wants to do more, can do more, and feels like there's a lot more that he can provide to this Knicks team. If Bridges feels like there's another level he can reach and he's not able to reach it, the Knicks owe it to every Knicks fan to assure us that Bridges is able to reach that level. And in my opinion, the best way to do that, to unlock him, is give him more opportunities to use the ball. More opportunities to have the ball in his hands. More opportunities to be the ball handler. And there's another way to do that. An easier way to do that. And it doesn't even require him being benched. Have him play the RJ Barrett role. Just sub him out at the 6-minute mark, the 5-minute mark in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, when you started out, have him run with all 4 bench players. You do that. Put the ball in Mikal Bridges' hands. You will watch magic happen. That's how you get more out of Bridges. That's how his play increases. And that's how you help his confidence. And if you help his confidence, he's only going to become a better player. He's going to only become a better player. He's going to get to that next level. Become that player that we traded for. Isn't that what we owe everybody? To bring that player along, to get that Mikal Bridges that we actually traded for, the offensive player, not only the defensive player as well too. We need both of them. We need that aggression. We need him attacking. We need him going to the line. Maybe what's missing is him running an offense. And maybe the way to do that is to have him play with the bench. Don't bench him. You don't need to do that. Just have him play the RJ Barrett role. It's very, very simple. Like Mikal Bridges said here. And again, I'm not saying anything wrong here. I'm not misquoting him. This is coming exactly from Bridges. Regarding his production and the season that he's had with the Knicks, he states, I think there's a lot more I can still show. I think that goes in within a lot. Things that are systematic or are schemes offensively and stuff. He is mentioning the Knicks and their schemes. Offensive schemes? The Knicks? What is the Knicks offensive scheme? What is that? Give it to Brunson and watch? Give it to Karl Anthony Towns and clear out? Because they don't really run a lot on offense. Sometimes it's one person get the ball and then other players move, other players cut, and it's more read and react. That's kind of what Tom Thibodeau runs. He doesn't really run offensive plays. Not a lot. Sometimes maybe you can say the out of the timeout plays happen, but sometimes we also turn it over. So, I mean, you can call it for whatever you want to call it. What I'm trying to say here is it is clear Bridges has more to offer to the Knicks. If he has another level, if he is saying he has more to show and we haven't seen it yet, is it a player thing? Is it a coach issue? Or wait for it. Could it be both? Ding, ding, ding. It is. It's both. It is a player situation. Mikal has to be more aggressive. He needs to be. Mikal Bridges not being aggressive is an issue. But is it also an issue that Tom Thibodeau doesn't run anything for him? Doesn't put him with the second unit? And when he does put him with the second unit, he puts him in there with a Karl Anthony Towns or another aggressive player on offense that he doesn't need to be there with? We got to talk about these things. That is part of the issue. So listen, you can say I'm calling it out. You can say I'm being minutes police. You can say I'm doing this and that. You can't say that to me anymore. You can't call me out for calling out Tom Thibodeau. You can't say it because we have a Knick player, a player we traded multiple first-round picks for, a very important piece to this Knicks team. Mikal Bridges was the first of these players to call out Tom Thibodeau. Now, tick-tock. Tick-tock. The clock is running. Thibodeau. Thibodeau. I need to see some changes. I need to see a lineup change. I need to see the bench used more. I need to see what every Knick fan has asked for. And now, one of your starters has asked for it. Play the starters less and play the bench more. And if you do that, magic can happen. Great things can happen. But the only way that happens is if you actually do it. If you actually utilize it. If you actually go to it. Tom Thibodeau, what are you going to do? What are you going to say? Where are you going to be when we are asking for changes? Are you going to be the one to do it? Or are you going to be the one to watch as we do it? That's going to be up to you. But right now, starters are calling you out. One of many. And now we wait. Guys, I wish I could go back to the chat. You guys are on fire right now. I wish I could do that, but I got to be respectful to my son and the tutoring that he's having right now. I did say it was going to be a quick live, and it is going to be a quick one, but I promise you this. I will clip some of these videos from this live and put it out there as well, too, just to give you more content, just because you guys know how I am. I love you too much. There's no way I could not give you more content. So look out for those videos. I appreciate you guys tuning into this live stream. I will be back again at some point in time doing lives again consistently, just dealing with a couple of things on my side over here. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, you guys have been amazing. Now, of course, I wanted to end it, but you guys are so humble. I just have to keep coming back. My goodness, the super chats are ridiculous right now. I mean, you guys are, what am I supposed to say to these things? I'm running out of things to say, guys, to these super chats. I got to keep going here because all right. This is unbelievable. I can't believe it. Harris, my guy, Harris. I'm losing words, man. I'm losing words, brother. I've been doing this show for, I don't know, for about 2-3 years now. You know, it's been a grind. Anybody who's done YouTube know how hard it is to do YouTube. Super chats are important to everything. I don't ever ask for them like that, but I think everybody knows that. I'm humbled. 99 and then now another 49.99. Harris, thank you. Thank you so much for being part of the community, for supporting, and for helping this show grow. It's people like you that I want to be part of this channel, because it's people like you that help us grow. The last comment before we close out, only respect to it as well, too, from Harris. Harris says, excuse me, Harris says, we don't need PJ. We needed divine intervention from Moses Miss Brown. This team will peter out without a good, young, energetic bench. I also want Devo back next year. Listen, Harris, I agree with you. I do think that Moses Brown was the clear addition. I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but let me tell you something. I made so many videos already about PJ Tucker, about him not being the player that I wanted him to be, how I wanted the Knicks to sign somebody else, but I can't make that happen. I can't force that to happen. And even though I want Moses Brown, who, by the way, is terrorizing the G League. I don't know if anybody noticed, but he dropped another 20 plus, I think 18 game the other day. Just rolling out of bed, dropping those numbers. He needs to be on an NBA team immediately. I wish it was the Knicks, but it's not going to be. It is going to be another team probably, because right now, all the players that are on this roster, this is likely going to be our final roster going into the postseason. We're not going to make any other changes, and this is the team that's going to be the playoff Knicks that we're going to have going against every team that we face in the postseason. So we have to be ready for that. But again, my guy, thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you so much for the praise, the support, and all of you guys as well, too, that are in the chats as well. All of the lives that I do, all the videos that I do, if you're in the comments, however you support this channel, however you help, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. That's really now going to do it for this episode. I really appreciate it. If you guys, if you guys love this episode or you want to hear more episodes like this, more lives like this, please make sure to leave a comment below. And also, let me know below, how do you guys feel about Mikal Bridges calling out Tom Thibodeau and asking him to play the starters less and play the bench more? Honestly, guys, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.